जय राधा नील माधव राधा नील माधव राधे। जय राधा गिरिधारी राधा गिरिधारी राधे। जय राधा गिरिधारी राधा गिरिधारी राधे। जय राधे राधे जय राधे 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 राधे। जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे। जय गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन। जय निताय चैतन्य चंद निताय गौर चंद्र गौर हरि। जय निताय चैतन्य चंद निताय गौर चंद्र गौर हरि। प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव। गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव। गौर प्रेमानंदी। जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शत इजबांगे शिलावे चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य शिल प्रभुपाद की। बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य शिल प्रभुपाद की। जयम नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत इजबांगे शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की। श्री मायापुर नवदीप धाम की। गंगा मैया की यमुना देवी की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। परम विजयते श्री कृष्ण संकीर्तन की। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Gaura Premanandi, Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivacharya Astottara Shri Srimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivacharya Astottara Shri Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Iskcon BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mathura Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Puri Shri Kshetra Dham Ki Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulasi Maharani Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Ki Transcendental Brayadmataga Book Distribution Ki Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Thai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastabhutale Shivadi Tmal Krishna Goswanti Namre. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastabhutale Shrimadi Bhaktivedanta Swamriti Namre. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Devvisesha Shanyavadi Pasyatya Desatarini. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Nice to see all of you. And I can't compete with that kid. So you have to do something about that. So today I was thinking of reading from the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Confidential Knowledge, text 4. Maya tatam idam sarvam. Maya tatam idam sarvam. Jagadnavyakta murtina. Jagadnavyakta murtina. Matstani sarvabhutani. Matstani sarvabhutani. Nachaham te shavastitaha. Nachaham te suavastitaha. Maya tatam idam sarvam. Jagadavyakta murtina. Matstani sarvabhutani. Nachakam tesu avastitaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are very fortunate to have Srila Prabhupada write these purports and translation. Okay, translation by me in my unmanifested form. This entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceivable through the gross material senses. It is said, Ataha Sri Krishna Namadi Nabhavad Grahyam Indriyai Sevan Mukehi Jivadav Swayameva Spurati Adaha. This is in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.234. It's also quoted in Chaitanya Leela Madhya 17.136. Lord Sri Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance is he revealed. In the Brahma Samhita 5.38, it is stated, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokkayanti. One can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, always within himself and outside himself, if one has developed the transcendental loving attitude towards him. Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. Here it is said that although he is all-pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by the material senses. This is indicated here by the word avyakta murtina. But actually, although we cannot see him, everything is resting in him. As we have discussed in the 7th chapter, the entire material cosmic manifestation is only a combination of his two different energies, the superior spiritual energy and the inferior material energy. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is spread all over the creation, and everything is resting in that energy. Yet one should not conclude that because he is spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. To refute such an argument, the Lord says, I am everywhere and everything is in me, but still I am aloof. For example, a king hates a government, which is but the manifestation of the king's energy. The different governmental departments are nothing but the energies of the king, and each department is resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. That is a crude example. Similarly, all the manifestations that we see and everything that exists, both in this material world and in the spiritual world, are resting on the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies, and as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vistabhyaham idam Krishnam. He is everywhere present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energies. Amagyanatimirandasya jananjana shalakaya chakshuzanmilitamena tasmai shri guruve namaha mukham karati vachalam pangum langeti girim yadkripatamam vande shri gurundenataranam Paramananda Madham Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sarvadito Gadodiya Pushpavanto Chitra Sando Tamodado. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming to our Sunday Feast program. We really mean it, right? Thank you. Yeah, you could be doing so many things. I always think there's so many things you could be doing. Right? But you came here. You came here because you want to be in the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His devotees. You want to be in His association. So here, in this verse, he says, Maya tatam idam sarvam. Yeah? I'm here. I'm everywhere also. So sometimes people say, why I have to come to temple? He is everywhere. Then we can say, you rascal, if he's everywhere, he's also in the temple, right? So why don't you come here? So we find it is like that. But this verse is very encouraging. It's a very encouraging verse. Because it is in regards to our developing our ability to see Krishna everywhere. Just after this chapter, the next chapter is the opulence of the Supreme Personality of the Lord. And there Krishna explains to Arjuna, hey, you can see me here, you can see me there, you can see me everywhere. And Arjuna is so fascinated, and in the 11th chapter is the universal form. He says, let me see everything. And then Krishna does show his universal form, and he is bewildered. Arjuna is totally bewildered. Not only bewildered, he gets very frightened. He said, no, I don't want to see it anymore. It's too scary. Huh? Lord comes in the form of the universal form, and then in the mood of a destroyer, Kaloasmin, Lokatraya. It's like, I'm going to destroy everything. So Arjuna is so afraid. It's really frightening. Huh? Just like little kids when they are dressed up in Halloween, if somebody is really scarily dressed and they jump in front of them, the kids will scream their heads off. Huh? Right? Yeah, the kids are saying, yeah. Especially during Halloween time. Yeah. So sometimes foolish people will come, Prabhupada says, and they'll come and say, can you show me God? Right? They will say that, can you show me God? So here Krishna says, Maya tatam idam sarva. I'm everywhere. But do you know how to see me? Are you qualified to see me? Right? So sometimes we also don't understand what Krishna is trying to tell us. We take him for granted. Right? Like we think we only come once a week and seek God. Come here, oh, there is God. But he's everywhere also. And we have to learn how to see him in all our lives. Basically, that's one of the most important things. And you can't simply see him with your material vision. You can't. And which is why Rupa Goswami quotes that verse, Atha Shri Krishna Nama Adina Bhavadgraham Indriye Sevan Mukhahi Jivada Swayameva Spuratya. It starts with the tongue. To actually conceptualize and to understand the position of Krishna, you have to start with Shravanam. You have to hear first. Who is this person? Who is Krishna? What is he like? Why is he like that? You know, the more you hear, then the more you can also appreciate him. And when you appreciate him, then you will want to do seva. But it starts with you yourself glorifying. How to glorify, how to understand him. Okay, I heard about this Krishna, he's like this, like that. How to know him more? Well, Krishna says, if you chant about him, if you speak about him, then I will from within your heart. Tesam satatam yuktanam vajatam pritipurvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. I give you the knowledge to understand me more. I give you the knowledge that you can understand me better. Not just book knowledge, right? Book knowledge is, yeah, we can read. But this is from the heart. This is from within. I allow you to appreciate who I am. I'm going to reveal to you so you can have this relationship with me. After all, who are we? We are all? Who are we? This is the same question Sanatana Goswami asked Lord Chaitanya. Who am I? Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained, you know. You are a servant of Krishna. I mentioned this also quite some time back, you know. There's only three things. There's Krishna, there's his devotees, bhakta, and then bhakti. And that's all you need. And you have the relationship. And you can understand your position and you can relate with Krishna very nicely. If you do not understand this, our lives are just seemingly going day by day. You look at yourself now, you look at yourself in 10 years, 20 years, and then you will see you are going. And soon you cannot see yourself. And then you come back again in another life or life form, some other forms. Yeah. One devotee once told Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, we are going to come back in the human form because we are taking prasadam. So everybody, they know, oh, take prasadam. So Prabhupada kept quiet and then he rocked a bit. Then he said, there are 400,000 species human form. And one form, he said, is like a monkey. So there's no guarantee you can take a human form. But what gives, right? What is important? What does it mean? It means we have to learn how to do this seva, this bhakti process. How to do this bhakti. This bhakti process is brought to us in the West by Srila Prabhupada. Actually yesterday, was it yesterday? No, day before yesterday, Friday. Friday was the day, and in one program I was explaining, Friday was the day Srila Prabhupada actually left India on the Jaladuta. I also said that the Jaladuta is the carrier in the water. So if we are not careful, the Jaladuta won't come, Yamadutas will come. So you should be careful. So Prabhupada actually spent so much time. From 1962, he started to write the first canto. On his own, personally, he started writing, editing, bringing from Vrindavan, he would come back to take a train and then come to Delhi. And then he would go to the printers and he'll ask them to print. And then they'll give him a printout, then he will go through, edit once, edit twice. He was doing like that every day. And he was in his 60s, late 60s, 67 years old, like that. And sometimes he would wait for hours, an old man. Why? Because he said, my Guru Maharaj wanted me to do this service so that I can take this knowledge to the West. And so there's so much information in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Srimad Bhagavatam that we have, that you can all learn so much to cultivate, to develop yourself into a spiritual personality. Right? Otherwise, you will just chase after this material energy. It is, after all, temporary. Right? An intelligent person will say, why am I chasing something that is temporary? Why not something permanent? Right? Yeah. So you don't have to hear all that. You go to the spiritual world. Yeah. So it is very important. Huh? Krishna is everywhere. Eko pisau rachiutam jagaranda koti. Is inside every atom. He's inside the atom, he's outside the atom. Fascinating, right? How can he do that? Why can't he do that? God can do anything. Definition of God. He is great. The question is, do we accept that he's great? Do we know he's great? Is he great? So how great is he? So the information is there. So we need to sieve through Srila Prabhupada's books and understand the greatness of Krishna, Supreme Lord, how great he is. Everyone says he's great, but how great is he? He is so great he can be inside the atom. And then he says here, right? By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. So he says, I'm everywhere. In our Bhagavatam, you'll understand how the Lord actually expands. Particularly when he comes into this material universe, his expansion, the Mahavishnu expansion, Karana Dakashaya Vishnu, he comes in and then he lays in the Karana ocean, the causal ocean, and from him expansions come out. Garbho Dakashaya Vishnu and Shiro Dakashaya Vishnu emanate from him. But at the same time, he manifests countless a number of universes. And within the universe, countless numbers of earthly planets. And within each earthly plane is countless number of living entities. He creates them, right? And here we are thinking, how great is Krishna? How great can he be? He is so great and he is so magnanimous, right, that he comes in his Archa Vigraha form, right? In this verse he says, Avyakta Murtina. So as his expansions, like Brahman that pervades the entire universe, that is his effulgence that comes through this universe. Krishna personally, he doesn't come here, he comes through his expansions, right? So one of his expansion is Brahma Jyoti. It comes here, and even then it doesn't come into this universe. The Brahma Jyoti comes as the sunlight. Okay, and you look at the sun, one sun, and you cannot even look at that. How can you look at Krishna? How effulgent is he? Right? It's fascinating if you think about it. It's just amazing. And that's our Supreme Lord. And he's saying, why are you not looking at me? Why aren't you not coming to me? Where are you? I've been waiting so long. I'm waiting. Come. So therefore, he himself personally comes sometimes to attract us. All the avatars, when they come, the nature of this avatar is to attract the living entity. Sometimes some of us like Gora Rupas, that means horrible looking forms. So we are like that. Some of us are attracted to those kind of things. So he comes like that. Ghastly forms, he comes. And sometimes he comes as Saumya Rupa form. That is Saumya Rupa. The most beautiful form is the two-handed form. And he tells Arjuna, you'll read it in the 11th chapter, he says, I don't simply reveal this form. And not everyone can see Arjuna. You have to have the qualification. We call it adhikar. One have to come to a certain standard. And how do you come to that standard? Srila Prabhupada has brought that standard. The standard Srila Prabhupada brought out is sadhana bhakti. What is the purpose behind sadhana bhakti? Sadhana means to practice, no? So what is the purpose? Okay, he says to remember. That's good. What else? Achieve? To achieve bhava bhakti. Okay, that's true. That's true. The another purpose, and I think it's a very important purpose of sadhana bhakti, is to actually attract the mercy of Krishna and his devotees. So when you do sadhana bhakti, you are declaring that I want your mercy, Krishna. So when the spiritual master or devotee see someone taking seriously in sadhana bhakti, in their hearts, within their hearts, they are thinking, this is so nice, this devotee. So the super soul, Krishna, is in the heart. He is thinking, my devotee is happy. So let me give that blessing to this devotee to make advancement. So we have to do 100% effort in performing our sadhana bhakti nicely. Oftentimes we think, oh, I'm initiated, hallelujah, I'm free. I'm saved, Master. I'm saved. It's not like that, the effort must be there. Otherwise, the most you can understand Krishna is avyakta murtina. You cannot see the archa vigraha or his Sachidananda vigraha form. The beginning stage is avyakta murtina. People can say, okay, God is so great, He has created this, look at the beautiful waterfall, look at the mountains, like that. They can come to that level of seeing greatness. But without the proper guidance, the knowledge to drive away the ignorance, we cannot then approach Krishna. It's not possible. Therefore, the practice is very important. Why we say the practice is important? Because it's already been practiced. Someone has already done it and say it works, right? So many times in your life also people say, hey, I tried it, it's good, go and do it, right? So then you say, yeah, he tried, I will go and do it. So in the same way, this is the process. It's called Guru Parampara. The Gurus are saying, we have tried it, it's good. Do you want it? Do you want to try it? And if you are interested, then I can guide you. That's what the whole idea is. Guide you where? Back to Godhead. Back home, back to Godhead. It's not number counting. We are not counting numbers. We can do that, Bahu janma gariyade shravana kirtanam dabudhanabhaya Krishna pade premadanam. One can chant for many lifetimes. Go ahead. Make my day. Keep chanting. But Krishna says, if you commit offenses, if you don't know how to chant, if you don't know how to relate to me, then Bahu janma. Keep taking birth until you understand that. Until you know. What is that understanding? How to love Krishna. So in Iskcon we try so many ways, right? To give this knowledge, to teach you how to love Krishna. Like we have seminars, we have japa retreats, we have so many things. Why? We want to teach. We want all of you to go back home, back to Godhead. We don't want just one person going back to Godhead. We want the whole, all of us. We can have party there together, right? Right? If you're alone, what party can you have there? You'll miss this, you'll miss that. No, everyone. That's the whole idea. That is what Krishna consciousness is all about. Teach you how to love. Not just love God, love every living entity because He is in the hearts of everyone. Upadeshamantascha bharta bhakta maheshwaram. He is in the hearts of all living entities, guiding us. Whatever you desire, He says, sure. Do you want that? Sure. But are you qualified? Everything, any desire we have, Krishna just says, are you qualified? Yes, you are, so be it. He sanctions it. But when it comes to loving Krishna, then Krishna is like, wait a minute, are you sure you love me? How deep is your love? Right? How deep is it? So it is very important for us to understand these concepts when we come here, right? Just like the example is like, when the sun shines in your room, right? Then you can say the sun is shining in my room. But it doesn't mean the sun itself is in the room, it's just the sunlight. So in the same way, Krishna is everywhere. So we can understand also, it's a crude example, but you can understand, yes, Krishna is still up there, but He's still here. This is Achintya Shakti of Krishna. It's called inconceivable potency. That He has many multifarious potencies, but this potency of inconceivability is something we cannot understand. But you can understand through the proper channel, proper guidance. If the spiritual master teaches you and tells you how to see things in the proper perspective, then you will be able to understand Krishna properly. Otherwise, how would you understand? You will start to speculate. Right? There are so many scholars who have read the Bhagavad Gita. They just read and then they speculate. Because there's no one to guide them how to understand things in its proper perspective. Not everyone is so keen of mind and senses that they can perceive and withdraw the good things carefully, right? How many of you can eat a prasadam and say, these are the ingredients in it? Very few people, very few people. Unless you're trained, just like the wine connoisseurs, right? They sip the wine and they say, oh, this is 1930, June or summer blend. So in the same way, when you get trained, then you can also connect with Krishna in the right mood, right way, right understanding. This is not a game for us, it's not a game, it's a service. We feel there's so much we can give, and we have so much to give, and we want so much more from you that you can also communicate with us, and then in joyful endeavor we can please Krishna. The mood must be right. If the mood is positive, then your activities become really exciting and it's very catchy. People like in feverish excitement they'll say, "What you doing? What are you taking?" I remember many years ago I was on the streets doing books and I was just doing, and then a guy stopped and said, "Why are you so happy?" Right? I said, I don't have to work, but I'm doing books, I'm happy doing the books, He looked at a while and said, okay, I'll take a book, and then he walked away. Because they can see that there's a happiness in this activity, devotional activity. Krishna says that, susukam kartum avyayam. If you do devotional service, you will joyful, you become so joyful. Yeah. There's nothing to worry. Why? Because you understand Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is taking care of me. Why I have to worry? But mostly we are worried about the temporariness of this world. It is, after all, temporary. It requires a lot of association with devotees because remember, we are here for a long, long, long time. We are stuck here in this material world. Therefore, the avidya, the ignorance, is so deeply rooted in our hearts. So therefore, someone has to come and chop it. Either a devotee will chop, or you will learn to cut it yourself. Like in the 15th chapter, Krishna says, with the knowledge, chop down this banyan tree, the upside down banyan tree, with the sword of knowledge. So ignorance will go away. Prabhupada says, you clap your hands, the birds fly, right? So that the same way, when you understand how to apply what you learn from Srila Prabhupada's books, all your ignorance will go away. Then you'll be tripti. Really tripti means satisfied. You'll say, this is what I want. This makes sense. This is life. I am joyful. I'm happy. I don't have to worry about anything. Why? Because Krishna will take care of me. He is going to take care of me. Why should I worry? Do the bees worry? Do the birds worry? Do the animals out there worry about their next meal? No. Krishna arranges for them. In the same way, if we have the proper reciprocation with Krishna, he will take care of us. That's why he says to Arjuna, Sarva dharmam parityaja mam ekam sharanam raja. I will take care of you. Do you not believe who I am, Arjuna? Do you still have doubts? Why the doubts? I am here for you. And so, later on in the 11th chapter, he says, oh Krishna, I accept who you are. I accept now. Tell me what to do. He says, you become my instrument. Let me use you as an instrument to glorify you and to glorify the process of bhakti. So the question then comes back to us, what do we want to be? Arjuna decided, right? He decided. Question is, what do you want to decide? How do you want to decide? When would you want to decide? Which lifetime do you want to decide? Do you want to come back again? Do you want to go through all this again? Do you? No. We don't want to come back, go through the same old. Puna charvita charvananam. Prahlad Maharaj says that, you already chewed that. It's like kids chewing the chewing gum. The sugar, everything is gone, but still they go chewing, like cows chewing the cud, No taste. So life is like that actually. If you don't have Krishna consciousness, it's just chewing the chew. It's imperative, it's very important for all of you to understand this, because it will help you. If you take this very seriously, you should all go and get japa mala. How many of you have or don't have japa mala? All of you have? Oh, don't be afraid, I'm not going to eat you. Okay. Go and get the bead bags, get the beads. Don't just get the empty bead bag, get the beads too. And then learn how to chant. The chanting is actually calling out for Krishna's mercy. Lord, help me understand. Help me who I am. Help me understand my position with you, my relationship with you, so that I can come to the spiritual world and serve you eternally. I don't have to pay tax anymore. Things like that. Right? Everyone's trying to cheat in taxes. You don't need to do all that when you become Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So this is the confidential knowledge that we should understand. That the Lord, He's everywhere. He's not far away from us, right? This is another point. It's inconceivable. As soon as you realize Krishna, you are with Krishna. When I first joined the movement, there was a story, a very short one. Krishna is with his cowherd boys, and then Krishna gets tired and he says, "Get me some water." So one of the cowherd boys runs to get the water. He goes to the river and he feels, and whilst he's feeling, he sees this reflection and he loses concentration. And he forgets about Krishna. As soon as he forgets, he's in the material world. And then he's going through so much difficulties in life. He takes different birth, he goes through so much. And then finally he meets some devotees, and then he takes up the process. And then in doing so, he becomes liberated. And then once he gets liberated, at the same time he wakes up where the cowherd boy is taking the water. He wakes up and says, "What happened? That was a nightmare." Then he quickly runs to Krishna, and Krishna says, "I was waiting for you for so long. What took you so long?" Yeah. So actually Krishna is waiting for us, and He's waiting for us for so long. So Chirag is saying so long. So sorry it's so long. So long folks. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If you do want to ask some questions, I'm available after that, so we can meet later. A word from our sponsor.